Let's do a quick word about Phil at the Advice Show and the kerfuffle that's going on in the Black manosphere. Now, I don't remember Phil in his first iteration. By the time I came to the manosphere, Phil was already in his suit. He was always already behind his green screen. He already had a big following. So I wasn't aware of his humble beginnings and his Black manosphere roots back before or back during the first gender war. But suffice to say that I'm not a big follower of his, so I really wasn't involved in the big reveal that happened. And for the most part, I still really don't have a dog in the fight. I really don't care very much. But the question of, can you be pro-Black and sleep white? And I've already answered the question. Yes, you can be pro-Black and sleep white. You can do that. You can contribute, but you cannot be out front. You can't lead. You can still do your thing. You can still talk on subjects. You can still contribute to the conversation, but you can't lead because you have been compromised. And that's the problem. He has been put in the position of leadership, of being a thought leader, by the mere fact of the amount of subs that he has. His channel is huge for what he does. And that has been collected over many, many years. It's probably a position that he didn't pick. It's probably a position that he probably never thought that he would have, but de facto, he does. So what probably began as a non-compromised position when he was just a contributor evolved into a compromised position now that he's a thought leader. And having a large following on YouTube comes with certain amenities like making money. And by making money, that kind of compromises what you say. It just does, especially if you depend on the revenues coming in from your channel. So then what you feel and what you think is right, just by the mere fact that you depend on the revenue, is going to color. It's going to be colored by that fact. So I think Phil, it was between a rock and a hard place. What he felt, what he thought, and what he thought to be right is colored by, I got this big channel and I have this revenue that's coming in that is sustaining my lifestyle. If he's going to be a thought leader, he should have come forward about him being compromised. Everybody knows if you sleep white or marry white, you're compromised, and everybody's going to look at you a certain way, especially in the Black sector, but also in the white sector too. Certain things you're going to be attacked about. Like it or not, being on YouTube is basically playing King of the Hill. And it's bad enough when we're talking about prestige and attention. See that all the time. People compete for prestige and attention all the time. But when you put money into the factor, it actually multiplies that by 10. And there's millions of people looking to get in, and they're constantly looking for a crack, a weakness to knock you off the top. So that's why on YouTube, you have to be genuine. You have to be a genuine person, because if you aren't and you get big enough, people will find out. He's got almost 1 million subs. Did you not think they were actually going to peer into your private life? Did you not think they were actually going to snoop? I had those issues and I didn't even have 5,000 subs when I wasn't making any money. I had those issues before I even turned on advertising on my videos. So even when I began, I knew I had to be genuine. And I didn't show my face or have my real name put out there. Even at that, I knew I had to be genuine, which is what we're talking about. You can't hide this stuff, especially if you're public, especially on YouTube. You have a better chance of being on network TV and keeping your private life private, especially in the Black sector. Interracial dating is a taboo amongst pro-blacks or people that lean toward pro-black. So, Tommy Sotomayor is a unique case because he is an entertainer and he is not pro-black. So him dating white women, him dating other kind of women, him dating all kinds of stuff is not going to matter because he is not in the pro-black camp. He might contribute to some pro-black causes because it is in his interest, but he is not a thought leader as far as being in the pro-black sector. Phil, you're a thought leader, or at least you were. But there's two things that you did not do for the large following that you have. You weren't genuine and you weren't honest, fully honest about what you did with your private life. You thought you were basically shielding her, but you wound up exposing her. You could have showed one picture. You could have even said that your wife is Hispanic, a white Hispanic, and kept it moving and took the slings and arrows yourself. And you would have lost subs and you would have lost followers. But at the end of the day, it'd still been fine. You wouldn't be compromised. You wouldn't be dealing with this. Because at the end of the day, you're going to lose subs anyway. And now you have people rummaging around in your wife's background and rummaging around in your wife's private life, which is another thing that you shouldn't do. If you're going to be on YouTube, you're going to be public. You need to shield the people that you care about because they are not in this and they are innocent bystanders. And before you make $1 on YouTube or $1 in this public arena, you need to make sure that they are protected from what you do and do that, which is why a lot of pro-black folks who are compromised, and if you're going to marry outside the group, you're going to be compromised, are contributors. Harry Belafonte for years knew he was compromised. He couldn't help directly. He couldn't be a thought leader, but he could contribute. But he had to do it behind the scenes. Same thing with Sammy Davis Jr. He couldn't be a thought leader. He couldn't be a leader in the black sector because he was compromised by being married to white women. So he can only contribute. And now Phil is going to have to be a contributor and not a leader. Instead of him making the decision is made for him, which should be a lesson to all the other folks out there that are actually going to weigh in on this sphere. Whether you put your name out there or you don't put your name out there, whether you put your face out there or don't put your face out there. When you come onto these YouTube streets, to these YouTube airwaves, try to be genuine to the greatest extent possible. Because whether you are a small channel like mine or a huge one like Phil's, people are always digging. And if they dig beneath the mask, what they should find is the same thing that they found in public, which you are genuine and you are consistent with what you talk about. Anyway, that's all I got. This is BGS out, and I will see you guys on the next one.